All right, guys, so welcome to webinar 2 of the $1 Million Case Study. If you guys missed webinar 1, I recommend you go back in our blog, look over the notes or watch the replay. But just give a quick recap, we're starting a new case study. So this time we're going to $1 million in sales, and we're not stopping until we get there. So we're just gonna do a quick recap of last week because this stuff is very important. However, I am going to go about this webinar assuming that you kind of watched or at least looked at the notes from last week, because I don't want to repeat myself too much for people who did watch session 1 of the $1 Million Case Study. But when we're looking for a product to sell on Amazon, these are the things that our product must have, okay? So we want existing solid demand on Amazon. That means that shoppers are already going to Amazon, typing this, in this type of product and purchasing it, okay? This is the only way to choose a product. Do not go off your gut feeling. That's like the quickest way to failure. Instead, just go off the numbers of what's working. With that being said, we want something that has low competition. The easiest way to gauge competition is the number of reviews and the quality of the listings. We want something that has solid margins so we can make a profit from this product. We want low seasonality. A little bit of seasonality is okay, but we're not going to sell Christmas lights or inflatable Easter bunnies or anything like that. We want to stay away from anything that would have trademark or patent issues or that's supposed to be licensed. So nothing with legal issues. At the bare minimum, we want to sell a product that's like $18, preferably more, 20 or 25. Once you start getting into these cheap products that sell for like 10 bucks, there's just no room for profit there. After Amazon fees, you may be left with a few dollars to buy your product and profit, which isn't enough for us to get to our $1 million. So those things our product must have. Some nice to have items are, it'd be really nice if we could improve upon the product. So we'll like read some of the bad reviews or find ways to improve on the product, and we'll do that. So we'll sell a newer, better, improved product. Hopefully it gets better reviews. And it'd also be nice if we could find a small and lightweight product. So our last product, our bamboo marshmallow sticks, it was an oversized item, and oversized items are a little bit of a headache, okay? You can't store as many at the Amazon warehouse. They're more expensive to ship. Air shipping is pretty much out of the question if you want it to be profitable. So I'd really like to find a smaller and lighter weight product for this go around. So this is what we came up with last webinar. And for those of you who joined, as you know, you watched over my shoulder as I came up with these. So, we hadn't thought about these ahead of time. This is like the best we could come up with in the 1-hour session. So we found tactical belts, which we went over. They have solid demand, but they might be too competitive. I think the price point was a little also kind of low. We would have to sell some of the higher end ones. We found these little burlap bags. The price point was too low and there wasn't enough demand. That one's pretty much out. The baby hooded towels were probably the best from last week's session. There's good demand. There's relatively low competition, a pretty good price point. A number of the listings that are selling well don't have the best reviews. A lot of them, I think, have like 4 stars, which means that there's room for improvement. We started to read a few of the reviews pretty quickly, and it looks like things we can improve upon. So this is what we came up with last week. This is the best we could do within an hour. Tonight we have a whole nother hour, so hopefully we can add a couple more products to this list and kind of see how it goes. So we're going to try to find 1 or 2 more products. We're going to analyze some of the data from last week. At the end of the last week's session, I put some of these products into our product tracker inside the Jungle Scout web app, and we're going to analyze that a little bit tonight. Make sure that these products or these niches are as good as what we think. And we're going to choose which products to move forward with. And we might be able to choose a product for sure, but the reason I say products is the one kind of like missing thing at the end of tonight will be what are our margins for this product? We don't know we can source this product at yet. So, we might really like these hooded baby towels, come to find out that they're too expensive to source, that the margins aren't good enough for us. And that means we might have to go for like option B, or who knows, maybe even back to the drawing board. So we'll see where it goes. But at the end, we are going to rank which products that within these 2 1-hour sessions that we found and are our best. So that being said, let's go ahead and dig in. So if you remember at the end of last week's session, these were the filters that we were using. I had selected some categories. We said a minimum of $20. I'm going to zoom in a little bit because I know it'll help you guys. minimum of $20. We said the minimum amount of estimated sales is 400 units per month. So in the results here, it's only showing us products that sell 400 units per month or more. We wanted something that wasn't too competitive, so under 100 reviews and a maximum star rating of 4.2. So that worked pretty well for us last week. From there, we got a few ideas just from the top, those front like 1 or 2 pages, which was good. Towards the end, we were running out of time, so I real quickly gave you some other example filters, but I just want to touch on that a little bit more tonight. And then let's try to like pick out another product or two from some of those filters. So so right here, this is like a good kind of like overall filter to use, right? Like good price point, solid, solid sales in this particular niche. It isn't too competitive because it doesn't have too many reviews, and it can probably be improved upon because it's not like a 5 out of 5 stars, right? So that's great. It got us some like real good ideas last week. Let's look at a couple other filters real quickly. And like I said, try to get like 1 or 2 other product ideas. Let's look for products that need more improvements, okay? So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna say like, only show me products that have 3.7 stars or less. And the reason I choose 3.7 is because that would visually show 3.5 stars, which is pretty bad. If it's selling well, even though it's showing the customer like that visual 3.5 out of 5 stars, that means that the customers really desire this product, even though it gets pretty bad ratings. All right. Let's see. We can leave, or let's maybe change this to like 300 sales. We can leave the price point at 20. So what this particular filter is telling me is only show products in Amazon's catalog that sell for at least $20. They sell at least 300 units per month, and they get crappy reviews, and people are buying them anyway. So I can hit the search button here. And I think, there's like 20 or 30 million products in here. That narrowed it down to like 1,000 in these particular categories I selected. And we can go ahead and look through some of these and try to find a product that needs some, that we think is relatively simple that we could like provide some improvements on. So like right here at the top, supplements, I mentioned last week, I don't sell supplements or anything that like goes on your body. So that'd be like makeup or lotions or any of that. Supplements are like really cutthroat, really, the competition is really tough. And to me, it's just scary selling stuff that like people are ingesting and putting on their bodies and that kind of stuff. So I personally stay away from it. I know other people have good success with it, but I want something relatively simple that I could like make improvements on, so like these LED lights, right? They're getting bad reviews. They're only rated 2.9, but I don't, I'm not like an electrical engineer. Wouldn't know what to tell a factory in order to fix those. So I can look at these. This looks like plastic food, which is good enough for me. I'm probably smart enough to read reviews of plastic food and find out what's wrong. So anyway, we'll do that as one idea. I just kind of picked it off the top here. There's obviously a lot more to look through, but I want to show you some different filters so you guys, the big idea here, guys, and I hope you understand this, is I'm trying to teach you everything that I know about product research and how to choose a good product. So don't go selling tactical belts and don't go selling hooded baby towels, even though I know some, at least be a few people watch this that will, but that's not the purpose here, right? The purpose is to really understand how I do product research so you can mimic it yourself. So let's do another example filter. This time, let's just say like, okay, still minimum of $20. Show me some products that just like knock it out of the park. So let's say sell like 2,000 units per month, even though they have under, even though they have under like 40 reviews. So that means it's like a pretty new listing. So it's priced over 20 bucks. It's knocking out of the park. It's selling over 2,000 units per month. Even though it's a fairly new listing, we know that because it only has 40 reviews. And let's also say the listing quality is below like, let's say 40. So this is a score 1 to 100 of how good a particular listing is. So we've rated all of the listings on Amazon in our database, 1 through 100, how good the listing is. So this takes into account like the pictures, the title, the bullet points, the description, all this kind of stuff to tell you like what's a good listing, what's a bad listing. So what these filters are telling me, and of course you can adjust them accordingly. I don't know if this is even gonna like have any results from it, but this product is priced well, a minimum of $20. It sells at least 2,000 units per month, which is a ton, right? That's like what, 70 a day or something, a lot of units. Even though it's a pretty new listing and it has under 40 reviews and it has a crappy listing. So let's see if there's any results there. So there's only 105 results here. Of course, I could adjust this to like 1,500 or 1,000 or whatever, or maybe increase the number of reviews or the listing quality. But I just want you to kind of like get the idea here. But let's see if any of these are good products. So, like people are probably only buying this water bottle because it's Yeti. People love Yeti stuff. Again, like staying away from supplements. This looks complicated. That might work. Let's see what else. Lots of either electronics or supplements, which I'm staying away from. Ink cartridges, I'm not really going to sell those, right? Food, not really going to sell those. Screws would be pretty easy, but counter snap replacement screws, I don't know. It seems like that just goes along with a particular brand name or something. That's why people are choosing it. Let's see what else we have here. Electronics, water filters, lots of water filters, some little decorations. Those could potentially be good. Let me see if there's anything better. See, like a lot of electronics I don't want, water filters I don't want, supplements, don't want them. What is this stuff? Mercator knife. That might be a brand name. Some of you guys, I always imagine like on the other side of the webinars, a lot of people are laughing at me like, you don't know what that is, but I don't, sorry.
Yeah, nor do I.
Okay. Let's see what these things are. Magnetic tiles, a toy. Sure, that'll work. Okay, cool. So that's an idea. So like I was saying, guys, these aren't, I wanted to like give you these examples so your like mind can start thinking about like how to find good products, right? So like we want to look for opportunities. So like, why are these opportunities? Well, it sells really well, even though it doesn't have many reviews and has a really crappy listing. To me, that means that, I could take a portion of those sales if I created a better listing, and it shouldn't be that hard for me to get into it because this is a pretty new listing and it's already doing really well, right? The last one I went over to, right? Like, why is that an opportunity for me? Well, it's selling well. It's selling like over 300 units per month, even though it was rated really bad. Like I would never buy anything off Amazon that was ranked like 3.5 out of 5 stars, right? But hundreds of people are buying this product every month. That must mean that people on Amazon really want this product, right? Maybe there's nothing better out there right now, or for whatever reason, there's still a lot of people buying these. So that's why it's like an opportunity for me. So that's how your mind kind of needs to be working, needs to be thinking about when you're thinking like, okay, like what filters could I put in here? Of course, like these can be tweaked, in different ways. So they have different results, and there's tens of millions of products in here. Like all products on Amazon pretty much that sell like one a month or more in this database. So, there's tons in here. You just need to like tweak different filters to kind of try to find the best ones for you. So, let's see, what did we come up with? We have these magnetic tiles. I guess they're to teach kids. That looks pretty simple. Looks kind of cool. I guess we came up with 2 different toy things. So these are little plastic or foam food things for kids to play with, I guess. So lovely cell phone decoration. Okay, or they can be cell phone decorations. So this part is going to be like a little bit of a recap from last week that I'm going to do next, but I really want to emphasize it. So we're going to do it again. We're going to do it a little bit quicker tonight because we have a lot to do in this hour, but I'm going to go over this one more time. Okay. So the next step, so I have these 2 product ideas, right? I have these, let's see, magnetic, I don't know if it's going to, magnetic tiles. Oh, yeah, I guess that's what they're called. Okay. That looks right? These is like what our picture looks like. So we have magnetic tiles. And then we have, what could we call these things? Let's see, maybe plastic food, plastic. Maybe these are designed for cell phones.
Are they like phone straps? Yeah.
All right, let's say like food, phone. I don't know what to search here. Plastic food straps. Still striking out. Plastic food. So strap. Not doing too good, am I? Plastic food. Maybe. I don't quite know if those are the same thing. But anyway, you guys get the idea. I'm trying to think of like what's the main keyword to land on this product. This may or may not be what it is. I was just reading it real quick. I might have totally blew what those things even are. So after we search the whole Amazon store, you know, like the one product we found in the database, we know that particular product is a good opportunity, but is it a good opportunity as a whole? Or is that was that guy just one outlier, right? So I'm going here, I'm gonna open up the Jungle Scout extension. I'm gonna zoom in on this a little bit for you. All right. And remember, this inside here, this is called the Jungle Scout web app. In the web apps, the product tracker, the product database, the niche hunter. I always get this question, so I know it's a common point of confusion. You know, this runs like on junglescout.com. It's a software as a service application, whereas this is the Jungle Scout extension. It runs inside of the Amazon store. You see here, I'm on amazon.com. After installing it, I have this little extension. I can click this button and this thing pops up. And this gives us a whole bunch of information that I'm looking for to make product research decisions, okay? So real quick, you know, I'm looking at the price, the particular price. It looks okay. There's some stuff that's a little too cheap, but other stuff that is selling for the 20 or 25 bucks, that's good. Estimated sales, if you remember from last week, I have a rule of thumb that I like to see a total of like 2,000 or 3,000 total estimated sales if I add up all the sellers in like the top 10 spots. So if I were to do that, it would easily hit that criteria. I think there's probably like 6 or 7, maybe 8,000 there, so lots. And then what's the competition like, just gauging off the number of reviews. For this particular one, pretty stout, right? The top guy, 700, 170, 900, 100, 300, 200, 400. So quite a few reviews. To me, that means this is a pretty mature niche and it's harder to get ranked in this. So what I would like to see is multiple listings, like 2 or 3 with under, say, like 40 or 50 reviews. That'd mean like they're pretty like young, like immature, and they're still doing well. So this particular one, the price point will probably work. Plenty of demand, but too competitive, so no good for me. And I probably just named those things wrong. I don't know. So let's look at this other one.
People are saying maybe play food set or toy food set.
Yeah, that's all right. We'll we'll move on. We only have an hour. We have a lot to do, but you're right. I probably named that pretty bad. So let's look at this other one here, magnetic tiles. These, it looks like, are a learning game for kids, which is good. It looks pretty simple. That's cool. For this one, whereas I couldn't come up with a name for the food toy set, it looks like I did nail this one because these all look like similar to what the product database I pulled up. So we're going to run the extension on this particular page. And let's see. So this has a great price point, right? The cheapest one is 25 or 30 bucks, which I like. Looks like there's one for 23, but $40, 70, 32, 56, 70. So it looks like people aren't scared to spend more money on these plastic magnetic little toys. So that's good to see. Does it have enough demand? Remember, we're looking for like 2,000 or 3,000 units of demand when I add all of them up. And the answer is yes, easily. Just quick little brain math. There's probably like 6,000 or 8,000 units of these being sold every month on Amazon, which is a good sign. We know people are going here and buying these. And remember what I said, I like to see multiple listings with under 40 or 50 reviews in the top 10. So let's see, these are the top 10 spots. The top guy, that's a really good sign. He only has 11 reviews. This dude is 46, 33, 6, 13, 8, 14. So not very competitive, right? If I compare that, if you remember, we're looking at the last one, those little plastic food things. I forget, I think we were seeing like 500, 700, 900, 1,000, whatever. There weren't like any of these that only had like 46 or 11 or whatever reviews. So this is much less competitive, which is exactly what we want to see. So this is actually overall, it looks like a pretty good niche. Let's go ahead and look at how this particular product has been trending over time. Okay, because I was just about to say, like, I've actually never personally seen these before, I don't think. Maybe some of you guys watching that have kids, you might have bought these for them because they seem pretty popular. I'd never had these as a kid. And it looks like the popularity of these have actually been going up over the past few years, which is cool. If you look from like 2005 to 2011, it's much lower, and we're seeing like a pretty healthy like increase in popularity over the past few years. I don't know if these were shown on Oprah a few years ago, or parents are more likely to buy stuff for the kids that teach them things. I have no idea, nor do I really care, because it's good news that this is going up year over year. If we look at the yearly or like or monthly or seasonal trends, it looks like these are very popular in October, November, and December, which I'd expect. It's a toy. Everyone's going to be buying these things for Christmas. And again, here, November and December of this past year, these things were just through the roof. So, yeah, this is a pretty good product. It might have a little bit more seasonality to it than what our baby hooded towels have. I would imagine those might be purchased like all year round a little bit better. And I think the data backs that up, where this might be just like a super hot seller in fourth quarter, maybe not quite as much the rest of the year. But overall, I'd say this is like a pretty good product. Good enough I'm going to add it to my product sheet. So magnetic, what was that thing called? Magnetic tiles. Let's say magnetic plastic tiles, solid demand, low competition. And let's see what the reviews look like. 4.5 out of 5, 5, 4.5, 4.5, 5. So probably little room for improvement, which that stinks a little bit. I was hoping to kind of like improve upon one of these products, but like I said, that was in the nice to have column, right? That wasn't a must have. And real quick, just because I'm curious, I'm going to see whether, so it looks like most of these are standard size. One guy has an oversized product. The rest are standard, which to me is good. Because like I said, our bamboo marshmallow sticks are already oversized. They take up a lot of our storage at Amazon. So I was hoping to be able to find a standard size product as opposed to an oversized. So that's good. So, all right, cool.
Hey, Greg, so looking at that, there's a range all the way from like 25 to 70 or so. Are you thinking about how you're going to position it already?
Good question. I don't know yet. I'm going to have to dig into this a little bit deeper before I know. So really digging in, looking at all the reviews and stuff can be kind of time consuming. So what I was going to do is maybe the last like 10 or 15 minutes of the webinar, I was going to dig into some of the reviews of some of these products, show you how I look, or like not even just the reviews, but like, what is the difference? I don't really know yet. Why is this guy selling for $70 versus one's 23? I don't know. We're going to have to dig in a little bit deeper before we'll know for sure.
Great.
All right, cool. So I think by now, if you've seen the first webinar and this one, you really understand like the product database is a great way to come up with these product ideas, right? Hopefully by now you understand like, okay, how can my mind be working to be thinking and coming up with these product ideas? And that's how I want you to mimic it, right? Try some of these other categories or try some other filters or whatever you want to be coming up with like some similar products. So we again mentioned at the end of last webinar, another way that we really like to do product research. And this is like spying on other private label sellers, or I think that's a great way to explain it, like spying on other private label sellers. So if we search for something that we know is like kind of like a popular private label product, it's really easy for us to find other private label sellers, and then we can cherry pick like their best products. So let's just say like foam exercise roller, or we'll try that one, mat. Exercise mat. We're going to try to find what we think is a private label seller. These probably almost all are. Let's see what this looks like. This is probably a private label seller. Yeah, I think that would be. So let's look at his storefront. So this guy's storefront's named Super Deal. Hopefully Super Deal is not on the webinar, otherwise he might be mad at me and I apologize. But we're going to look at which products he's selling and see if we can't cherry pick some of the best ones. So I've gone into his particular storefront. So like the storefronts right here, if you click on Super Deal Storefront, so that's one way to look at products. I could click on kind of like one of these categories and look at it. Another way is by going into his products right here, and then I can run the extension on this page, okay? So the extension is pulling in all the information about his products. Some people probably wonder, why doesn't it show estimated sales and category and stuff for some of these? Why does it just have the grade lines? And that's because Amazon actually doesn't rank these products in a parent category and a rank. So this is pretty common with electronics products. For whatever reason, Amazon won't rank those products. And without having a product rank, there's actually no way for us to know how many units are being sold. So that's why that information is missing right there. So we have one page results. We'll go ahead and click on extract next page. Let's see if I look at his products. Let's see why that's pulling. He has 188 pages of products. So we could sit here for a while and extract all those, but 2 pages is probably enough. Amazon usually puts like the best-selling products on the first few pages. So I'm going to click on the column header to sort by, right now it's in descending order. So his top-selling products here at the top. You know, that's not a private label product. Those are laser jet refills. This looks like it could be a private label product. This is a Himalayan salt lamp. Handmade packs. Cool. So let's see what this pulls up. So remember, like we were in this guy's, you guys might not have caught there, but you know, so I was looking at all these guys' products. I sorted to see what his best sellers are. He has 188 pages of products. So that's probably like, I don't know, 200, 300, maybe 400 different products this guy's selling. And we want to look at all of his best selling products and like cherry pick those best ones. So, you know, the top one, that's not a private label product. That's laser refill things for a printer. The second one, that looks like it could be a private label product. That could be a private label product. It looks like the rest of these probably could. So, or, you know, something like that, that's probably not a private label product. It's not, it's sold by Fuji. So let's just look at this top one. These salt lamps. I don't really know what these are, but they look cool. So I went ahead and I searched then Himalayan salt lamp. I assume that would be like the main keyword for this product. And holy cow, these things sell like crazy. So, you know, like all the top sellers all selling 3,000 units each a month. After that, 1,500, 2,000. So a ton of demand for these products. If I were to add all these up, there's probably like 20 or 30,000 of these units being sold every month on Amazon, which is a ton. Great price point. However, pretty competitive too, right? Be pretty hard to get ranked, probably even on the first page. You know, like this guy might be at the bottom of the first page. So Himalayan salt lamps are gonna be too competitive for us. That being said, since these, I know now that there's tons of demand for Himalayan salt lamps, I can try to niche down further into something that I think might be like a little bit more niche and therefore like a little less competitive. So maybe I could try a Himalayan salt lamp, what is it called, night lights. I could try Himalayan salt lamp chunks or basket design. I could try, what's it shaped as, a flower. So let me just try, I'm not quite sure where this is going to go, but let's try night light. Or I guess night light's 2 words. All right, those are cool. So we'll see now that we've like niched down a little bit further, is there still good demand with less competition? So the answer here is, yeah, there is. The price point for the night lights is a little bit lower. Most of them are a little bit lower than I'd hoped. However, demand's still pretty good. 300, 700, 600, 200, 200, 400. It's pretty good, right? Like if you're in the top 6 spots, you're selling at least like 10 a day, probably. Definitely not as competitive. You know, this guy number 5 spot who's selling 200 a month only has 2 reviews. So that's a pretty good sign. This top guy only has 20 reviews. He's in the number 2 spot and selling 700 a month, which is pretty darn good. Third case study, we need to get to $1 million. So this probably doesn't have quite enough demand for us. However, like if you're just getting started and looking to make a few extra $1,000 a month, this could like probably be a product to do that. Let's try, what did I say for the other one? Chunks or something. Himalayan salt lamp, chunks. Let's see what that does. All right, so again, this is like another kind of sub niche of Himalayan salt lamps. All right, so I like this price point better. You see a lot more like in the high 20s and 30s. That's good. Still a lot of demand here. Top guys, 3,000, 1,500, 1,700. And it's a little less competitive as to be expected, right? Like the guys at the bottom here in the number 7, 8, 9, and 10 spots, they all have about 40 reviews or less. So is this guy in the number 4 spot. So this is a lot less competitive than just Himalayan salt lamps. Now that we've like niched down a little bit. Let's see. Probably, I guess we could add this to our list. All right, sure, why not? Himalayan. I don't love this, but we only have 2 hours to do all our product research, so I'm going to go ahead and add it in, like with chunks or with salt chunks. So solid demand. Let me actually, I think I was thinking something in my head and I didn't tell you guys this. One good thing to look for is like the depth in the market. Okay, so these top 3 sellers are crushing it, right? This top guy's like selling like 3,000 units, then 1,500, 1,700. So they're doing awesome. But after those top 3 spots, the next one, he's only selling a few each month. Then after that, like 200, 300, 200, 250, 200. So something here is like a little bit fishy to me. It's like, why are these top 3 guys crushing it and all the rest of the people, you know, they're doing fine, but like they're not crushing it. Like, what is it about, you know, 1, 2, 3? Maybe it's just the looks. And that might be it. Like these do look a little bit nicer to me than these other ones. But that's like a little bit of a red flag, right? You would like for this, before I'd be willing to sell it, I want to do some more research. Like, why are these top ones selling so much better than the rest? Is it because it's a name brand that people recognize? Is it a higher quality product? Do they get better reviews? What's the deal there? So I think I was thinking that in my head. I didn't tell you guys. So I'm going to say solid demand, like poor depth in market. Let's see what else. Fairly competitive. Oh man, didn't save it. What is it? Solid demand, poor depth in market. That's good enough. All right, cool. So I have that product idea now. Let's see if we can cherry pick like one other product from this seller or someone else. What else is this guy selling? What are these things? A monitor stand. This look cool. So let's try to go to.
I could use one of these, Greg. I'm using a stack of magazines right now.
Oh man, let's get one of the. Let's order one of these for Ken.
I might just order one just to check it out.
All right. So let's just see. Like these look like the. Those are all correct, which is good. All kind of like mesh monitor stands. And all right, again, like this top one, he's crushing it, right? Like 1,800 units. I think that was the one that our buddy that we're spying on is selling. Number 2, then he drops all the way down to only 100 units, only 300, 50. So again, this is like poor depth in market, right? There's something fishy going on here. Why is this top guy crushing it where everyone else is not doing very well? Other than that, it seems like a pretty good price point. Not I'd say like not too competitive, which is good. So yeah, I'm not going to add this one to the list just because I would need to look in quite a bit more why he's selling so many more than everyone else. So, all right. We're almost at 40 minutes past the hour here, and we have like a lot to do tonight. So let's look at my list real quick. Last week we found tactical belts and hooded baby towels. Just add in there baby towels. Tonight we found magnetic plastic tiles and Himalayan salt lamps. We found like a sub niche of that that we kind of added to it also. So what I want to do next here is kind of like pull up all these and let's look at all of them a little bit more. So let's see, the top one was tactical belts. All right. We also had hooded baby towels. We also had magnetic plastic tiles. And last but not least, our Himalayan salt lamps. We will add to the mix. What do we call it thing? Chunks. Let's see what basket. Maybe just chunks. Interesting. It shows us a different type this time. All right. So we have all four of these pulled up. And we want to kind of look. Let's take a second look at all of these and see, how's it doing right now? What concerns do we have about this? Is it a good product? We kind of mentioned this last week, but a lot of these are selling below where we want to sell at. So we have to sell like one of these high-end ones, kind of like this guy who's selling his for $20. So that's right there as a worry. Tons of sales, which is great. Reviews are fairly stout. Number 6 guy, he only has 60. 9 and 10, they don't have a ton of reviews. So it's doable, but kind of competitive. So
yeah, one comment there too from Shane on our team, who's a Marines, is it's actually used to keep you in a helicopter, so possibly liability issues.
Yeah, I guess that'd be bad if our buckle broke and
unless we do airsoft or
our friends in the service are falling out of helicopters. That'd be bad news. All right, we have our hooded baby towels here. Price point, pretty good. It's some of these are selling for over $20. We could go for some of the more high-end ones. There's a few cheap guys that we have to compete against that kind of stinks a little bit, but there's tons of demand. All these, everyone in the top 10 spots is doing pretty darn well as far as sales go. There's not that many reviews, which is good. Let's see, the top guy only has 42, which is great. I see a 45, a 72, a 59, a 69, down here a 40 and a 51. So not super competitive, which is good. I'd say one other thing I was going to look at was kind of like room for improvement. Here, there's some room for improvement. Some of these guys are up here ranked well, even though they only have 4 stars. I imagine we could probably create something good enough that was getting 4.5 or 5. Let me look at this again. Same thing, some room for improvement. I don't see any guys with like 3.5 stars that are ranked like way up there. So small room for improvement. Let's look at these magnetic plastic tiles. These were just found tonight, which I think are pretty good. I wonder if I searched something else before. Magnetic plastic tiles. Anyway, because I'm seeing some like different results here. Now I see a result for $120, which is pretty interesting. I'd have to check in a little bit why he's selling for so high, but good price point, pretty wide, varied price point. So I need to kind of like dig in why is somebody selling for, why is this top one only $10 where this guy's 120? I need to look into that a little bit more. Pretty good demand. There's a few that seem like outliers in here that aren't selling well yet are still ranked well. Let me see. Oh, these things aren't. Like this one right here. Looks like Scrabble or something. So it seems like it shouldn't probably be ranked in there. I don't know. What's this guy? And that's not even not the same thing as what we're looking for. So overall, solid demand in this niche and not many reviews, like 7, 11, 14, 50. I'm seeing products that I think aren't even related. Maybe I need to be more specific here, or maybe I just need to search in toys. Let's try doing that real quick. So let's do just in toys and games, magnetic plastic tiles. This might be more relevant for us, actually. I'm going to try running Jungle Scout on this page. All right, so this is probably a little bit more relevant for us. And again, solid price point. Almost everything's over $20 besides one outlier. Good demand. I see everyone selling like a few hundred a month or more besides a few outliers. It looks like our Scrabble guy is still in there. And not many reviews at all. So this thing is not very competitive. We also looked at the trend of this, which is uptrending, which is nice. Let me leave that open. And then let's look at our last product here. We have Himalayans.
And Greg, one thing about that, somebody in the chat mentioned that we can get N52 magnets. So one point of differentiation to have super strong magnets.
Okay. We can do that. We can look into it. Oh, I forgot to mention on that. How much room is there for improvement? Probably not a ton. I think this is probably like the best rated one. I see all 4.5s or 5s here. 1 3.5. So maybe a little bit of room for improvement, but probably not like a huge improvement. And this last one, we have this Himalayan salt lamps with these chunks. I'm looking at these. These things sell like crazy. This is like a little bit more competitive. And like I was saying earlier, the depth in the market kind of scares me. It's like, why are these guys selling so many, and then one of these down here are only selling 30 or 50 or 100, 200. I really want to make sure I'm not one of those guys only selling 50 a month. So that would be good. So these are kind of like our 4 products. Judging by what we see here, let's do why don't you guys drop in the chat box? I'm curious to see what you think. Put your favorite product into the chat box. I'm curious to see what everyone thinks, and then I'll kind of tell you what I think as well.
I wish we had the live polls. Too bad.
I know. I'm going to stop sharing 1 second here again so I can come back. I want to see the chat box with you guys because this will be pretty fun. And maybe if any of the individual products get enough votes, we could just go for it. So let's see what we got here.
But then that would cut short our $1 million case study. We get there so fast.
True.
Yeah, some people were mentioning patents for the magnetic tiles. So maybe something we should look into.
It's possible. What do you think about the chat box, Gen? What most people like?
Not so active yet. Tiles, baby towels. A lot of baby towels. Baby towel, yo. Baby towels with strong magnets. Man. You can be an inventor. Tiles, towelettes, 1 salt lamp. Magnifying bath mirror. People were talking about arrows as well.
Arrows?
Possible liability. Like shooting arrows, I guess it's called. Bow and arrows. No, I don't know. Independent product research.
Okay, cool. All right. That being said, we'll dive back into it, and I'll let you guys know what I think of these particular products. So I don't really like the tactical belts. After looking at this a little bit deeper, the price too low. Could be a potential liability thing there. I imagine a lot of people also just use these to put their holsters on or whatever else. So I don't know if I'd be terribly concerned about that. Maybe, who knows? But it also seems like pretty competitive. So I'm going to go ahead and cross this one off the list. So tactical belts, sorry, I think you're done for. Hooded baby towels, I think should stay in the race. I wish it was a little bit higher price point, but I think it can be done. Lots of demand, which is fantastic. Not terribly competitive. I think we can definitely get up there. Some guys with only 4 stars that are rated up there are ranked well. So we could, I think there's a little bit of room for improvement. These magnetic things, like we said, we definitely don't have to check for patents for this because some of these could be patented. But out of all of the products, these are like my favorite price point, right? They're priced higher. I like higher price stuff. Most people do pretty well. Like pretty much everyone on this first page, without the exception of a few outliers, are doing really well. And it's not very competitive, right? I mean, there's like this product right here is ranked number 4. It's merchant fulfilled. It has 1 review. It doesn't sell well. So like, I'm very confident that I could get ranked really well in this product. I'm going to leave this one in the race. I like it. The Himalayan salt lamp here, I think there's definitely like potential like somewhere in this niche. I don't know if this particular thing is it. I'd have to do some more research, see what else like people are buying with this Himalayan salt lamps, chunks, stuff, whatever. Looks like it's used for air purifying. Looks like maybe the yogi crowd's a fan of these, which is cool. But if we're trying to narrow this down, I think this one's, I think this one can get X. So Himalayan salt chunks is out. Now what I want to kind of do, we've kind of narrowed this down to 2. I was hoping I'd probably have like, for everyone out there watching, doing this yourself, I definitely recommend coming up with more product ideas in this. This was only like realistically like an hour and a half of product research, and it takes a lot longer when I'm kind of like talking you through everything that I'm doing. So I would definitely recommend to make a list of like 10 or 20 or 50 ideas here instead of just 4 like I did. That's a little bit risky, but I think we can roll with it. So I want to investigate these like a little bit deeper. I'll show you guys a few more things I do for like preliminary like product research before I move on to the stage of finding a factory. So like we can figure out pretty much everything at this stage except for what price these sell at, because we will need to communicate with some factories to figure that out. So once we start communicating with factories, then we can figure out what our margins would be like, and that's how we'll really know what product we're going with. But for now, we have 2, I think, like pretty solid product ideas here that we can dive a little bit deeper into. So I'm going to dive into these hooded baby towels. I just want, again, I want you guys to kind of like be looking over my shoulders, like get inside my brain. I'm going to try to talk you through this, like the best I can of all the different things that I'm thinking that I'm looking for when I'm kind of like investigating a product and whether I want to sell it or not. Okay. So the first thing I'm kind of looking at is like, okay, why is this guy priced at $24 where this guy is only 13? So I'm going to click through. I'm just going to look at this product. Right away, I see that like pretty like high-end packaging. It looks like he's going for like more of like a high-end look, which is good. It looks like he's selling this as, I see in here like hyperallergenic, antibacterial. It looks like it's made out of bamboo, which I didn't actually realize till last week, but I guess bamboo is also made to like create fabrics, which are supposed to be pretty nice. He's also advertising this that, I don't know, it looks like it's like kind of eco-friendly, but overall like a pretty like high-end feel of this product. And it looks like the reviews probably match that, right? 4.9 out of 5 stars out of 42 reviews. There's only 1 person who rated it less than 5. They said it was very thin. So it looks like one way to kind of like maybe get to the higher price point, higher end packaging, overall higher end feel, eco-friendly, maybe advertise like the health conscious people or the people who are worried about lower quality fabrics touching their baby, that kind of stuff. So let's look at maybe this one. Why is this thing only selling for like 12 or 13 bucks? right away, like I wouldn't say this is like low end. Like to me, it still looks like fairly nice. This is like kind of cute, something you might find at a boutique. Let's look at the reviews. This one does have some 1, 2, and 3 star. I think we might have looked at some of these very last week, but looks like, like poor quality, not very soft, pretty rough. So it looks like these are just kind of like poor quality, like not as soft. So I might make a note here that make some more notes over here that we definitely want something soft, high quality, and I'll say possibly bamboo fabric. All right. What else can we look at here? Again, you have firsthand knowledge in these, don't you? Can you shed any light?
I do. Yeah, well, one comment which was interesting: bamboo jungle 6 bamboo towels. We go with a bamboo themed store product line. Yeah, I would say last week we saw some negative comments about the thread quality, the material quality falling apart quickly, and then I guess like plushness or softness, and then sizing. So maybe we do larger, so when you have a 2-year-old or 3-year-old, they can still use it.
Yeah, those are all good points. So just looking through these again, yeah, again, this kind of backs up your comment. Threads coming loose, bear's ear stitching got loose. So we need some kind of like choose a good factory, maybe do some kind of extra quality control measure to come up with some kind of quality like assurance type thing where we saying, hey, there can't be like loose threads or threads longer than a ½ inch hanging off or whatever else. Let's read a few more bad reviews real quick and see what we have. Rough and thin, quality is very poor, very thin material. So it looks like people want like thick towel. All right. Which I think we have a pretty good idea of what people are looking for just after spending 2 minutes reading bad reviews. Something that I am curious in because I don't know anything about it. Let's look at bamboo towels real quick. So the reason I'm searching this, I don't really know much about bamboo towels, but we can probably find some stuff out just by reading. These aren't like hooded baby towels, but these are other towels. So again, looks like this #1 seller, he has this, to me, this looks like an eco-friendly, like conscious type packaging. This is probably like biodegradable. They're advertising it's free from chemical toxins and dyes. Good for sensitive skin, all natural bamboo. So maybe I can add that in there. Like possibly can I get like organic, all natural, dye free. I guess it had to probably be white, but maybe I could do dye free. So that could be cool. So these are all things that like I'm going to be asking my factory about, so I can try to come up with like these high-end, like the high-end product these people are looking for.
Hey Greg, do you know offhand if bamboo towels are going to be gated or the chance of being gated?
So there's 2 different types of like gating on Amazon. One is like brand gating. For example, like I can't sell Nike products without Nike kind of like ungating me. Okay. So that's one type. So we don't have to worry about that because this is a private label product. The other type is category gating. So this particular one sells in baby. Our baby hooded towels would also be in baby. And off the top of my head, I want to say baby's not a gated category, but I'm not sure. That's something, again, that I'd have to check. The one thing I will say is like you can pretty much get ungated in like any category. Exception might be like watches or jewelry, but all of the rest you can pretty much get ungated. There's like good tutorials online how to get ungated in all of those. So it's not a top concern, but before I sent a factory a couple $1,000, I would double check that. I'm just going to try to read a few more reviews, see what people are looking for when they're using or purchasing bamboo towels. So it looks like bamboo must be super soft. Cheap quality, threads were out, destroying the first wash, multiple holes. All right, so like I guess it's pretty thin. We need like a thick piece, like a thick towel, right? A thick, soft, nice, no threads hanging out. I think we got that. So those are all things I'd be looking, this is like, I'm going to dig into this a little bit deeper, but these are all the different things that like I'm looking for. I'm thinking about like, how can I improve upon this product? What are people looking for? What do people like in these products? What do people not like in these products? I can also just check like on Google, right? So I can just do like baby hooded towel reviews and see like what else besides off of Amazon, what else are people looking for? Or, like which other ones are popular. So these are like different ways I can go about just doing product research. It looks like this is probably just like an affiliate site, but they might have like a little bit of insight of why those particular products are good. I could also, if you're worried about patents, I can search baby hooded towel patent. I really don't think this is patented, but I guess it'd be worth probably reading over this a little bit more. This was filed in, this is for a lawn chair or something. So I'd probably want to read into this a little bit more. It's too time consuming to do while we're on the webinar. What's the other one I can search for? Magnetic, what are those things called? Plastic tile patent. Yeah, this one, again, I kind of have to read over this a little bit more, but this actually one particular one might be patented. I would kind of, let's see, filed 3 years ago, so that would still be good. The reason that, I'm going to think right now that it's not patented without digging in deeper is because there's quite a few different sellers here, right? Or different brands. Mi Bote, SASRL. This one's Mobius. So it looks like there's quite a few different people selling these, maybe like a certain little style. For example, like Legos would have been like, are like patented, but if like you make them like a little bit bigger or like the little buttons on them or whatever else, and they wouldn't be patented, that might be like something similar to this, right? Like a little bit different designs or whatever else are not patented. So that's something I'm going to have to research more about this particular thing. So I'm going to say like check for potential patents. Let's see what else people like and what they don't like about these. So again, I'm just going to jump straight to the reviews. All right, they just received a bad one. Magnetics were nice. Some bad packaging. Case was cracked in several parts. So I could just say nice package, good case. So these are all things, remember, I'm going to be talking to my supplier about. Let's see who else we can look at. I'm trying to find someone who's gotten some bad reviews. They at least have 122. So we're going to read some of these bad reviews again. Weak magnets. I think someone dropped in the chat box a way we could do better magnets. Again, kind of just falling apart in the packaging. Tiles were mixed up in the box, so it fell apart in the packaging. Magnets appear very weak. So I could say solid magnets. Let's see if we can find a few more things wrong here. Wrong color. My little girl loves pink. They were red. The colors were very different. So that's kind of just like poor advertising, which we don't have to worry about that. We'll take pictures of our actual product. So yeah, I'm not by any means a patent lawyer, but I'm pretty sure that like even if one of these companies has a patency on this exact design, like we just wouldn't be able to make this exact design. You can see like this design is different from this one, right? These are like a little bit smaller, whatever, they're a little bit different shape. I imagine like these particular ones wouldn't connect with these, right? So I'm pretty sure we could do something like that, but I will have to dig into that particular thing a little bit further, but I don't think it's a deal breaker by any means. So these are some of the things that like I'm doing and I'm thinking about when I'm doing my product research. It's like, first I'm finding all the stuff that meets this criteria, right? If we look back at the criteria, solid demand, low competition, good margins, low seasonality, no legal issues. I'd like to have a product improvement, and I'd like to have something that's like small and lightweight. So after I found something that like met that criteria, that's when I start to do this next phase where I'm digging in deeper. I'm finding out like what people like about these, what they don't like. I'd start reading the description of this and be like, how's this thing selling for $120 where these other ones are only selling for 20? Is this a well-known name brand? Is this much bigger? Like, what is it about these that it's making it sell so well? So those are all the things that I would have to like dig in a little bit deeper. And honestly, it's just like sitting at the computer here, reading reviews, Google searching anything I don't know. I've never even seen these magnetic tile things before today. Like I'd probably like watch a couple of YouTubes, see like how kids are playing with these, see if I can come up with any ideas there. And then I jot down like all the notes that I'm thinking about, kind of like I have here. And these are all the things that I would be talking to the factory about, like, hey, can you send me a few different samples of the fabric because I want something soft and thick and high quality. I'd probably like figure out a way to make up some kind of like standard of like what like the stitching or thread type has to be. I'd ask them, hey, like, is it possible that you have like organic bamboo or all natural, or like, can you make this without dyes or maybe natural dyes or something like that? Because it seems like people like that kind of stuff quite a bit when they're shopping for these towels. So yeah, these are kind of like all the things that are going through my mind when I'm doing my product research, and that I'm going to dig in a little bit deeper on both these before next week's, so we can talk about them a little bit more. With that being said, Gen, what's up? What's in the chat box? What's unclear?
We have a really live chat box, so just want to say thanks to everybody for collaborating, helping, answering questions. Apparently one of the guys played a joke on me, and N52 magnet is like the strongest in the world. So okay. We don't want to talk to the suppliers about that. So I guess I look foolish there. So one question that came up earlier was when you're picking a product, I guess it kind of answers it as you're doing this, but you're just going for one product. We're not trying to build a line, like thinking beyond this. If we were to build other products down the road, we're just going for one product.
Yeah, that's a good question. All right, let's chat about this real quick because there's a lot of people out there saying like, hey, you need to like build this like whole like nice cohesive brand. It's the only way to do it. And I'll just give you like my thoughts on it. Is it cool to have this nice like cohesive brand of like a whole bunch of things under the same category? Yeah, it is. Like that is cool, especially like if you want to get on your own e-commerce site, or maybe at a later date, like you're looking to like sell this or like whatever else, right? That being said, it doesn't always work out that well, okay? Like right now we're going after the best opportunities to like make money like with the least amount of work, okay? And to do that, these are probably going to be like different products, because like everything in the baby toy category aren't going to be good opportunities, right? But I know I can find all kinds of different random stuff that sells well. So if your goal is to primarily just sell on Amazon and your goal is just going after like profits for these products, then it's normally easiest to just sell like different random stuff, because on Amazon, no one cares about like what other products you sell, right? They type in magnetic tiles and they just purchase whatever one they want. No one like actually looks at your store, okay? So
unless they're spying.
Unless they're spying and trying to steal your products. That's just not how shoppers on Amazon work. And Amazon doesn't care, like what other products you're selling. It doesn't like help you in your rankings there. So like if you have this like strong desire to like build like this really cool brand and then like later on like try to sell it elsewhere or like on your own e-commerce store or whatever else, that's something you can be thinking about. But for this particular case study, like we're just trying to sell $1 million worth of stuff, make as much as we can to donate in the process. So we're not really worrying about like this beautiful cohesive brand.
Sure. Thank you. So yeah, can you just outline what we'll be doing next from here?
I absolutely can. So what we're going to do next, the next step of this is I'm going to do a little bit of homework between this and next week. Next Wednesday, we have another webinar. We have at the same time with Gary, who's a friend of mine. Gary is a sourcing agent who lives in China. And this is really cool because he's going to help us identify how to find good suppliers versus bad suppliers. Okay. So he's going to help us. We're actually even going to give him our product idea, and we're going to watch over his shoulder as he's looking through Alibaba or wherever else he recommends and shows us like, hey, this is a bad supplier because of this. This is a good supplier because of that. So that's what we're going to be doing next week. Between now and then, I'm going to do a little bit more homework on like what we're looking for in our products. Like what people are looking for, why they rate them well, why they rate them poorly, and make sure that our product can check all those boxes so that our product's the best on Amazon. The other thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be watching these products inside of our product tracker. So just real quick, I'm going to share my screen with you one more time. And I'm just going to look, I just want everyone to see like what I'm talking about when I say like, look at these products in the product tracker. So last week I added some of our hooded baby towels into the product tracker. So again, we're back inside of the Jungle Scout web app. And why I really like the product tracker is because you can see on a day-to-day basis how well a product's selling for that particular day. So like when I run the extension, like when I'm back here and I run this extension, it gives me estimated sales, but this is like a snapshot in time. So this is telling me if this product continues to sell how it has been for like the past couple of days, it will sell about 2,000 units this month. When this could get skewed would be like if this product just had like this really good week, right? Or they just ran a big promotion or like whatever else, that could get a little bit skewed. So before like I go and pay this factory a few $1,000s to make me this product, I want to track it on a day-to-day basis and see how this product sells every day. So let me try to zoom in a little bit. So I added this product last week, and it's telling me on a day-to-day basis what the inventory was for this particular seller. And from there, we can understand how many units it sold. So, this day, the inventory was 659, whereas the next day, the inventory was 621. So it sold 38 units that day, all right? The next day, it went down to 556, so he sold 65 units that day. The next day, 526, so he sold 30. So I can see like this product is selling well. The average is like 39 units per day in the past 30 days. I can look at this green line, which is his best sellers rank, and it stayed pretty consistent except for the 3 days where he was out of stock. So everything looks good here. Like I can tell that he didn't just run like a huge promotion. That's why like they're selling really well. I can look at another one of these products and same thing, like I see this green line stays pretty consistent. It stays between about, we'll say like 500 and 800 for the rank, which is pretty consistent. And then same thing, I'm seeing he's selling about 40 or 50 units on a daily basis, which is good. I can see that kind of like over time too. So that's a good sign. So I can look at some of these products, and after this webinar, I'm going to go ahead and add some of these other products to my tracker. We'll go ahead and add this particular product right now. I'm just going to click on this little plus button here. And this product has now been added to my tracker. So I'm going to go ahead and add like a few of these that I think would be like a similar product to what I'm selling. And then next week, again, we can look at these, we can make sure that they're selling well on a day-to-day basis. And it wasn't just like this good spike in sales. So to recap again, I'm gonna do a little bit more homework on these particular products that I like. I'm gonna add some more of these products to my product tracker so we can look at them together next week. And then next week on March 8th, Gary's going to be joining us. He's a sourcing agent from China. He's probably the sharpest dude that I know as far as finding good suppliers goes. This is something that he normally like charges clients lots of money to do for him. And he's coming on the webinar to give us everything that he knows or everything that he can tell us within an hour on how we can find good sourcing, how we can find good factories just using Alibaba and other free places. So yeah, it's going to be fun. By then we'll be able to find out our margins, and yeah, hopefully we can pick the final product.
Fantastic. Yeah, we had Gary on last year, and he was fantastic. One of the best guest webinars we had. So it will be really worthwhile for everybody to join. If you're here, and I assume that you got the email, we'll send out the email again next week, so you'll know what URL to join. But it will be Wednesday, 8 p. Eastern, 5 p. Pacific. And we'll keep you updated in the meantime on our blog.
All right, and I think that wraps it up. Again, is there anything we forgot before we end this?
No, we're just on the edge of our seat. Keep us posted, Greg.
I hear you. I'm excited. I think we have two like really good options. Like I said, there's only about like an hour and a half of actual like product research time. In real life, I probably would have spent like a little bit longer, found a few more products. But I think even in that hour and a half, we were able to find two candidates that are pretty good. I think they could definitely give us a huge boost to get to that $1 million, which is exactly what we're looking for. So it's exciting. I'm really excited to see where it goes from here. I'm sure we'll be able to find a good factory to make this product for us. And yeah, it's going to be fun. So everyone, thank you for joining us.
Thanks,
I've enjoyed it a lot. And we will see you next Wednesday. Adios.
Bye.